So here I'm going to be telling you a little bit about After Effects. If you haven't used After Effects before, it looks something like this. In this tutorial video, I'm going to walk you through some of the main parts of the program before we go to animate our logo. So let's go ahead and start. I'm going to close this up, so I'm going to show you how we exactly open it up. If you go to Finder, Applications, Adobe After Effects, you open up the program, it's going to look something like this. And usually this pop-up window comes up. Recent projects, you can open a project, but we usually start a new composition. So I'm going to go ahead and start a new composition, and I'm going to name it just Practice. This is just a practice composition. And generally here in the presets, this is where, similar to Premiere Pro, you can set the type of video presets that will match your video. And this is really important because if you are working with a video in Premiere Pro that's a certain size and certain frame rate, and then you're working on something in After Effects, you want to do your best to match the size and the frame rate together, so you're not going to have discrepancies when you try to put those two videos together. So here we're going to use HD 1080. You can usually use 29.97. That's what usually DSLRs will film in, or HD 1080 25. So I'm going to use 25 today. And here are the presets that you can have here, frame rate, and this is where you can set the duration of the composition or the video. So this is quite important because if you're just doing a very small thing that you want to input into the beginning of your Premiere Pro video, you can make it 10 seconds. You can make this a lot longer if you want, but the longer it is, Adobe After Effects file, the slower your computer might be because there's more information to process. So I'm going to make this 10 seconds and the background color white. So here I'm just going to walk you through kind of the main aspects of After Effects. It's a little different than Premiere Pro, but once you get used to it, you'll be fine. Here's something called the project panel, and this is where it shows everything that you have open. So similar to Premiere Pro, this little icon here is a comp icon, and it'll tell you here composition, and it'll give you a little bit of a preview here. There's an Effect Controls tab similar to Premiere Pro, where any of the effects that you'll put in there, this is where you can start to edit them and see what's there. The composition window here shows you kind of like a preview of what's going on. So anything that you're doing, it will show up here. Over here on this side, you have an Effects Presets tab. And this is where a lot of, similar to Premiere Pro, a lot of things that you can do are in here. So if you want to do keying, like chroma keying, green screen, you can do in After Effects. You can do color correction in here as well. You can do all different types of things. There's a 3D camera rotoscoping in After Effects as well, but we'll deal with that a little bit later. Down here is where you have essentially everything that's going on. So every time in a composition, the things that are showing up, it will show up here in this comp here. So this is my comp. I'm going to actually go ahead and double click on my comp. And I don't have anything in here yet, but if I were to start importing things, it would show up here. This is essentially what the timeline is. It's 10 seconds, and it will show you where you are in the video. So these are the basics. Up here is your toolbar, where you have very similar things: selection tool, hand tool, pen tool, text tool. So all of this stuff, we won't really need it too much yet, but just to give you an idea of the program. In the next video that you watch, we're going to start to import the Illustrator file to animate your logo.